And to introduce our first inductee, please welcome to the stage President and General Manager of NBC4, Steve Carlston.
It was always my dream to be in the California Sports Hall of Fame. This is as close as I'm ever going to get. I played college basketball. It was a very sad day when my coach came up to me one day and he said, "You know, Steve, you're not big, but you're slow." So now I get to introduce somebody else into the Hall of Fame. Fred's going to be with us 40 years at NBC Los Angeles. I've been with the company 7 years, so I can't really say that I coached him, but like a lot of you in this room, you're superstars. And you know how hard you are to coach, and so that's my job right now, is to coach the superstar and to make sure that he finishes strong with his career. There was a famous quote that I like to tell people. Jim Sinegal, who started Costco. How many people go to Costco on a regular basis? Okay, his famous quote is this, that culture's not the most important thing, it's the only thing. The Raiders have a phrase, win, baby, win. And everybody in this room understands, that's been a player, that the culture is set. I had a chance to meet the famous and wonderful man, Bill Walton, a moment ago, and he got to work for one of the great coaches of all time. And John Wooden had a great phrase that said, "Why are you the best coach?" And he said, "Because I have the best players." He also had the Pyramid of Success, which built a culture of bringing great players into the process. And all of you players and all of you people in this room have been in organizations that understand that culture is the only thing that matters. It's the thing that brings us all together. The reason I start with this is to say that Fred is part of our culture. He is a gentleman that not only is somebody that you see on the air all the time, but every one of the show and programs that he put on there, he came up with. Going Roggin, The Challenge, Rogan's Heroes. All of those are ideas that he brought to the team that allowed us to be able to flourish as a company. I am very grateful that Marcus Johnson is here. I met him one time, long time ago. But one of the things that you'll maybe not remember, but I do, because I was a fan and I was a Marcus wannabe. I wish I could have been him. But he could score, he could pass, he could rebound, he could play defense, and then he had the ultimate final ability to be able to be a great teammate. He had everything. And that's Fred Roggin and our team. We're grateful to have him. He is a very vital part of what we do, and because he can pass and allow some of the other people to get it, he can score every night, he can do all the things to be able to make our team better, and he also is part of the culture that allows us to have a winning organization. I am grateful and honored to be able to present Fred Roggin.
Wow, how cool was that? Thank you, Steve. And you can tell that he is an incredible leader, and he is a coach, a college basketball player, and we are blessed and fortunate to have him coaching our team. So I thank you for that. I thank you very much. You know, the thing about it is, when I saw that video, and our people at Channel 4 put it together, and it was so wonderful, and I'm so appreciative, it made me think one thing. Watching it, looking through the years, remembering when I started, and it got me to a point where I thought, Jesus, I'm old. I mean, how long have I been there? And, you know, at times as you get older, oftentimes things don't work quite as they used to. So I have to apologize before I begin tonight, and I'll be very brief in this, and I do sincerely apologize, because one of the things that don't work quite as well for me are my eyes, and I have to wear reading glasses. And when Christian was so kind to ask me to come here tonight and induct me, I was so thrilled. And I looked at it, and it said, give a speech for 45 minutes. So I stopped binge watching Schitt's Creek on Netflix, and I wrote this speech for 45 minutes. Then I put my glasses on, and it said 4 to 5 minutes. So my apologies, but folks, settle in, because I've got some things to say. I do want to recognize the people that are here with me tonight, the people that mean everything to me, my family. I'll start with my wife, Rochelle. We've known each other 29 years, married 26 of them. I've been there every step of the way, thank you. My daughter, Haley, a graduate of Oregon State who now lives in Phoenix, flew in for this. Son, Jack, who, since you're in Ontario, if you're in the area during basketball season, go on out to Redlands because he's going to be the starting two guard for the Bulldogs. And our youngest son, Josh, who completed his freshman year at Arizona State. I also would like to recognize Bethany, our dear family friend, the Drattis who are here, Mike, Tatiana, and their beautiful daughter, Sasha. Greatly appreciate you guys being here tonight and spending some time. I'll say this. I was a guy that started in radio. I quit school after 6 months. Everything I've done, I've learned on my own. So I have no formal training in anything, quite frankly. And I'm the luckiest guy in this room, by far. When I saw the list of inductees tonight, I thought Jerry Buss, Marcus Johnson, Todd Christensen. I look at these people and I think to myself, I'm humbled and honored and I don't deserve it. Then I saw Jim Gray was being inducted. I said, hell, I should be here. Christian, thank you. Thank you for including me. Thank you for inducting me into this wonderful fraternity. I'll close with this. I lost my parents when I was young, and I tell my kids this. My dad when I was 13 and my mom when I was 25. And as I was growing up, my mom would always say, whatever you do, just be the best. Just work the hardest. Be the best. If you're a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper. I'm not the best sportscaster. I might be the luckiest, but I'm not the best. But I know this. I've worked very hard. And the best part of this night is that on this night, my parents, who are no longer with me, would be very proud. So I thank all of you, and I thank Christian. Thank you.
Fred, let me present you with your plaque. This is a thrill for me to be presenting Fred Roggin. I work at Channel 11, Fred at Channel 4, and Fred has always been one of the most welcoming, friendly, best people. I always consider my coworkers the people I work out in the field with, and Fred's one of them. So congratulations.
Thank you, Liz.
Have a seat, because I'm going to ask you a question or two. 40 years in Los Angeles? 40 years in Los Angeles. I'm going to get, you know what I'm going to have to do? Come close to work the mic with you. If you were 40 years in Los Angeles, did you spend 2 months everywhere else?
No, you know, I'm really fortunate. I've been at NBC for 40 years, and people say, wow, that's remarkable. It's unheard of. How could you be there that long? And there's really one simple answer. Nobody else would hire me. I had to be there 40 years. I mean, I have a family I have to pay. I got here when I was 23, Liz. So that's the bottom line. I got here when I was 23.
So I worked in Arizona too, and so immediately one of the things Fred and I had in common was that we worked in Phoenix together. But Globe, Arizona was your starting market? I don't even know where that is. Was it a market of 50?
Globe, Arizona is 80 miles east of Phoenix. It's bordered by the Inspiration Consolidated Copper Company and the San Carlos Indian Reservation. I worked at Kiko Radio every night. 8 till 12 midnight, Uncle Fred, the Kitty's friend, the ambassador of mirth and merriment, a ray of sunshine in your otherwise dreary day. I did Top 40 radio there and did the local play-by-play. And then I'll just tell you, I moved to Yuma, KBLU Radio, 56, where I became Rock and Roll Roggin, every day 10 to 3, another biscuit from the ever-loving hits. And they had a TV station in Yuma. And I asked if I could try out. And they said, no, we don't have tryouts here. You are on TV. And that's how I got on TV, and I got paid $5 a night.
$5 a night, not $5 an hour, $5 a night. $5 a night. You saw a clip in there, and it went by fast. Curling. Fred knows everything about, he is the Olympic announcer for curling, Fred. How did this come about, curling?
Thank you for asking, Liz. I do have the most important job when it comes to Olympic coverage as the host of curling. I enjoy the sport greatly. It's really the only sport, and for years it was this way, where you could be completely tanked and compete. When NBC got the games, they said, we'd like you to do it if you'd be so kind. Actually, we got the Winter Games, and I thought I was going to get hockey because I'm a huge hockey guy. And David Neal, who was the executive producer at that point, called me. He goes, I got good news and bad news. I said, well, what is it? He goes, well, the good news, you're on the ice. I went, this is great. He goes, the bad news is it's curling. I said, okay. But what he said was, have fun, don't make fun. And ever since NBC got the Winter Games, I've done curling. And actually, it's really the most fun. I enjoy it greatly.
Look, curling looks like something I could do. That's the thing that you like curling because you're like, I could do that. Anybody could do that. I could do that. It's an Olympic sport. I could do it. Is that true?
Liz, absolutely not. You cannot do it. You cannot do it, Liz. No, it's much harder. It's much harder than it looks, but it is great fun.
So since you brought up Eric Dickerson, and one last thing before I let you. Fred, let me tell you one thing. Fred, I'm out on the streets all the time, working every game, everything, working like a dog. Fred shows up for events. The Super Bowl, the Stanley Cup Finals, right? Fred only shows up when it's big and bigger. That's when we get to see Fred out there with us. So when Fred shows up, we know the big dog's in town and something big is happening. Eric Dickerson, your friend, my friend, calls you. He said, Liz, don't let him get off the stage until you ask him why I call him Grumpy Grandpa.
Eric Dickerson, All-Pro, Hall of Famer for the Rams, is psychotic and is troubled by severe mental anxiety. No. Eric does radio with us every Monday on KLAC AM 570, and we put him to the test. I'll tell you one quick Eric Dickerson story. We're doing a remote, and we're out at a golf tournament, and Eric goes, I bet you can't hit the ball onto the green from 80 yards out. I said, sure I can. So we go out there, I hit the ball, I hit it over the green. He goes, I'll bet you $20. I said, okay. I hit it over the green. He goes, that doesn't count. You owe me $20. He walks up to shake my hand. And I'm thinking, oh, this is nice. I go to shake his hand. He goes, where's my 20? I went, really, Eric? Seriously? Yeah, give me my 20 and sign it. So he put it in his pocket, and he takes money from people. So don't play golf with Eric Dickerson because he puts it up on the wall with your signature on it.
Thanks, Fred. Congratulations.
Thanks, Liz.